It is the morning after the evening before as Nottingham Forest lose 3-0 to Manchester United. But what are the 5 things we've learned from this game? Welcome to FFTV. Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are, whatever time of day you're watching this. Hope you're having a fantastic day and welcome to your match analysis on Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 3. We're going to talk about 5 things we learnt in there, but before we do, can I say hi to all the Manchester United fans? I've been loving, laughing, and reading through your comments as you guys celebrate. Yeah, you're not even going to win the Mickey Mouse Cup. Newcastle are going to smash you. But it is so funny to see that you spent 1.4 billion and the most excited thing you are is about a 3-handled Mickey Mouse trophy. So enjoy it. It's going to be hilarious if you get smashed next Wednesday. Anyway, before we get into it, as always, guys, if you'd be kind enough to hit that like button. If you're enjoying the content, subscribe to the channel if you are new. And if you want to be a member, it's only 99p. Look, let's jump straight into it and let's talk about the first thing that we learned from yesterday's performance. Point number 1 is a point we've discussed very heavily over the last week or two, and that is the goalkeeping situation. Wayne Hennessy is not it. Wayne Hennessy isn't even a number 2 anymore, in my opinion. A few of you have been messaging me throughout the week saying, yo, man, go easy on him. He's not as bad as you think he is. He is. He's for me past it. He's too slow on reactions. He goes down in slow motion. Anything that is at ground level, it's like he's got anti-gravity boots on. He just can't get down for them. Hennessy cannot play again. I was against Keylor Navas coming in. I thought his wages would be too much. I thought he's past it. But I don't think even he can be that bad. Look, we'll have a transfer news update for me, but I still think the Croatian is the one we need to go for the price. For like 10 million euros is the absolute bargain, and he needs to come in and he can challenge for that number 1 spot with Dino Hendo. So for me, Hennessy, thank you. I mean, you did great against Grimsby early on in the Mickey Mouse comp, but for me now, it's time for changes to happen. And I think we're going to see some quick movements in the transfer market as Nottingham Forest go in to buy a keeper. But let me know your thoughts. Do you guys still think there's something in Hennessy, or is it time to move on to pastures new with the goalkeepers? Point number 2 is about where else we need to strengthen. And look, I've been crying out for it since the moment Niakate got subbed off against West Ham with that injury, that our squad depth at centre-back is not good enough. We may have numbers at centre-back, but we do not have quality. And that was evident and apparent yesterday with Joe Worrell and McKenna's performance, to be honest. Joe Worrell cannot handle pace running at him. Watching yesterday Trashford up against him was like watching ASM against him in Newcastle in the first match. As long as that player zigzags anywhere around him, it spins Worrell's head and he's got no clue if he's going inside or outside and ends up just in a dizzy spell. As Cena Da Silva subscribes to the channel, thank you so much, Cena. So for me, look, our heads have been turned by the beautiful signing that was Danilo, which we'll speak about in a minute. But it is distracting from the fact that there still are some core positions that need strengthening. This side, I still am adamant, is very, very close, 2 to 3 players away from being a fantastic first team and a really strong Premier League team as well. And those positions start with the centre-backs. But for me, Worrell is still not cut out at the upper half level of the Premier League. Look, I'm being generous. Against lower-ranked teams, maybe. With players around him that are good enough, you can mask some of his shortcomings. But overall, if you're being objective about it, he's not strong enough for the Premier League. Not in my opinion. What do you guys think? Point number 3 for me is the most important point of all of these, and that is Danilo, and what a fantastic player we have bought. He is brilliant, man. Yesterday, He completely controlled the midfield, in my opinion. And had we put away some of our chances, the result would have been a lot different yesterday. And most of those incidents were because of the catalyst that was Danilo. He controlled everything from breaking up the play deep in our half to initiating the start of the attack. The player he's 21 years old, but his footballing brain is way, way older than that. And it's only early days. I really don't want to overhype him up. I really want to give him a chance to settle in and develop. But a player who's played, 45 minutes against Bournemouth and now has had 60 minutes against Manchester United, for me is already showing huge, huge signs of really, really good things. Man of the match for me by a mile yesterday, wasn't even a contention. And I just want to see him as a permanent fixture in this team. And I can't wait to see him against maybe the likes of Leeds and how he's going to control that midfield and really, really be the catalyst to turn defense into attack. Does he need some discipline still? Yes, absolutely. There was a few wayward touches, but overall, you can't not like what you saw yesterday. And just remember, he's 21. We've got him for 6.5 years. He's going to be a baller. He really is. But do you guys agree with me? Or do you think maybe I'm getting ahead of myself with him? Now, point number 4 is going to be a bit controversial, but more so, I want to hear what you guys think about it, is the formation. I liked it. I know a lot of you are going to say with a 2 in midfield, we were way too exposed and there was too much space for the opposition to play in. But when it came to the attacking side of it, we looked amazing. Again, with Danilo there starting it off. And then you had that tsunami, a flood going forward of Morgan Gibbs-White, Scarpina and Jono. I love that 3. And then obviously there was Surridge in front of them. Look, we still need someone better than Surridge ahead there. But that setup has so much potential attacking-wise. I love the idea of it at home. I understand if away from home, we want to revert to a solid 3. I get that. But to play this formation, you have to have 2 strong, pacey centre-backs who can cover the space that is left by the fullbacks getting forward. So I feel this is the formation we should be building towards, and it's triggered by centre-backs. So Niakate is about a week or so away from coming back into full training. Therefore, that's one problem solved because he's quick, he's strong, he's physical, and he's pacey. I still go back to point number 2 or whatever it was. We still need a centre-back. Centre-back is crucial for what we do for the remainder of the season. But this formation, this 4-2-3-1, I really, really do like it. Now, some of you are going to say it was more of a diamond yesterday than what have you, but go watch the match highlights and the analysis and see where Danilo and Freuler were positioning themselves. See where the other 3 in front of them were. You had Scarpina on the left, MG Dub in the middle, Jono on the right, and then obviously Surridge at front. It gave us so much more options in terms of getting forward. If we're doing that, the balance has to come from the back. And the balance has to be that the centre-backs are good enough to hold a high line to really squash the opposition at the City ground, but also the pace to recover, which they do not currently have. Let me know your thoughts on that one. And then point number 5 is quite simply this. Whether it was 3-0, 6-0, 7-0 to Man U or Forest won 4 or 5-0, it doesn't matter. The main objective of this season is one thing and one thing alone, that come next August, Forest will be kicking off in the Premier League. Nothing is more important than that. So I don't care about the Mickey Mouse Cup. I never did. The only thing I cared about yesterday was that it was Manchester United. And obviously I have a lot of Manchester United mates and I wanted to stick it to them. But hey, it's quite easy to turn around and say to them now, congratulations, go enjoy losing your final in the Mickey Mouse Cup. Because that's all you're playing for this season. But back more importantly to Forest. The point of this is it doesn't matter. We didn't lose 3 points. We didn't gain 3 points. We didn't get 1 point for a draw or anything like that. It has no bearing and no impact on our season whatsoever. What it's good for is it put it down in the history books, another semi-final achieved by the mighty Reds, and we move on and we move forward. When it comes to the second leg, I don't really care what Cooper does with the team in that one. Maybe he bloods some youngsters. Maybe he bloods some fringe players. I don't know. I just wouldn't risk some of the key players that we don't want injured, like MGW, for example, and maybe one or two others. Let me know what you think, though. What do you think the setup and lineup should be for the second leg? Down in the comments below. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Those are 5 quick things we learnt from the game last night. Don't forget, if you got this far, you're still here and you haven't already, please do hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and we'll see you on the next video. There's a lot of content coming out today, so keep an eye out for it by putting those bell notifications on so you don't miss a single one. Thank you for watching. Come on, you Reds.